folks. Today we're encouraging you to educate yourself by getting into an area that most people have studiously avoided. I want to encourage you to go to Amazon.com, and I want you to buy Major Frank C. Stolz Jr. buy his book, WMD, Weapons of Mass Destruction, Attack on America. And I want you to get this book because there is a huge probability, if not a certainty, that we are going to face an attack on the American homeland by WMDs, led probably by terrorists of the Middle Eastern persuasion. And there's a very, very strong chance that the first responders are not going to know exactly how to deal with this. Now, Major Stolz served 20 years in the U.S. Marine Corps, was a combat veteran, was decorated for heroism, and even though Major Stolz would tell you that he doesn't want any personal approbation, he would say that the men who served under him deserve that approbation. It's important for you to realize who wrote this book and why. After 20 years of faithful service as a U.S. Marine, as the tip of the spear, if you will, defending America from all enemies, foreign and domestic, what the Major's most concerned about is the absolute ignorance. And notice I'm not saying stupidity, I'm not saying lack of intelligence, I'm saying ignorance. People have ignored the threat from various types of weapons of mass destruction. And there are several questions that the Major would have you ask yourself. If you read this book, you'll be able to answer these questions. First on the list of questions that I would want you to really examine is the general question, is America safe? Is your state safe? Is your community safe? Are you and your family safe? What do you have in place right now as your action plan if the unthinkable happens? One of the things that happens as you get the gray hair and the gray beard is you begin to appreciate all that life insurance you bought a long time ago, and when you bought it you thought, oh, I don't really need this, but you're obligated, you have to do it. Well, peace of mind comes from that insurance, and knowledge is power, to quote Francis Bacon. And what the Major has done in this book, WMD, Attacks on America, what the Major has done is put together an absolutely irreplaceable vault of knowledge that you need to have access to so you can make yourself, your family, your community safe. Now, we are surrounded and infiltrated by legions of enemies. It's very, very important to realize that. I've done a whole bunch of videos on Patriot Network TV about the southern border of the state of Arizona. Our own Homeland Security people admit that 120 to 140,000 illegal aliens cross the southern border every month and have for the last 30 years. Now, you used to be able to get a listing of OTM other than Mexican who crossed the border. You can't get that anymore. But the last listing I saw showed for the year 2006-2007, the OTM count was up around 65,000. Stop and consider how many Russians, how many Chinese, how many Islamic terrorists, how many terrorists of other persuasions have crossed the border and are here now, and the U.S. federal government has no clue who they are, where they are, what they're up to. Are you prepared individually with the right knowledge, with the right supplies in your home, with the right training for you, your spouse, and your family if the unthinkable happens? If a WMD is set off, if a nuclear, if a biological, if a chemical, if an electromagnetic pulse weapon is set off, are you set up in such a way that you can survive? Do you have freeze-dried food? Do you have alternative energy? Do you have clean water? Do you have decontamination gear? Are you set up in a way that ensures the survival of your family? How are you going to respond to these challenges? How are you going to equip your home so that you are a person who is set to survive rather than set to be victimized? The possibility of a weapon of mass destruction attack carried out by terrorists or other small non-affiliated cells against the United States is, at this point, a certainty. The people in the Department of Defense, the people in Homeland Security don't say if it happens, they say when it happens. You want to have in the back of your mind the images from Katrina. You want to remember the people of the city of Nolens stuck in the Superdome waiting for the mythical federal government to show up and help them. That is not who you want to be. Knowledge is power. The first thing to do is to get this book. Go to Amazon.com, get Weapons of Mass Destruction, Attacks on America, and begin to educate yourself and educate your friends. When you begin reading this book, your feelings, your thoughts, your mind will change about what it is to be prepared for tomorrow. And I'm not talking about doing some bizarre survivalist ritual. I'm talking about being a good Boy Scout. What's the Boy Scout motto? Be prepared. You were a Life Scout, you are an Eagle Scout, okay? I am an Eagle Scout. I'm prepared. I have supplies and material in my house that will allow me to survive for quite a while, regardless of the provision of outside care or electricity or utilities or anything else. So I'm going to urge you as a friend, as a fellow citizen, as someone who needs to be educated on this matter. Major Stolz has spent a lifetime, 20 years of it, serving as part of the tip of the spear in the U.S. Marine Corps. And he is calling out to his fellow citizens and saying, please become informed, become knowledgeable. Don't let ignorance stop you from becoming prepared for what is a certainty. There will be, in our lifetimes, a WMD attack on American soil. The only question is, are you going to be prepared for it? Step one of that preparation is to go to Amazon.com, get this book, read this book, begin to share this book with your friends and neighbors, discuss it with them, and get a plan in place for you, your family, your community. I urge you to do this. And I want to thank Major Stolz for not just 20 years of service in the U.S. Marine Corps, but for this great book. This is the kind of patriotic activity that we need from all Americans in this time. Thank you so much. God bless you. God bless the U.S. Marine Corps. God bless Major Stolz. And God bless the United States of America.